You are listening to WTUZ Radio Podcast. Welcome to WTUZ Radio Podcast, and today's topic is Mars or Bust. So in this topic, we're going to talk about the space travel to Mars. So specifically the space travel with people to Mars. So we'll go over the SpaceX program, the concept of colonization of Mars, etc. So I have been speaking on the Mars colonization for a couple of years now, at least 3, maybe even 4 years. And it has really ramped up not only the particular discussion, but also them putting action in place. Now, earlier this week, I want to say Monday, I saw where there was a selection of folks who applied, normal citizens who applied, or private citizens, let's say it that way, private citizens who had applied to go to Mars. And so some selections were made. Now, I just tried to find that particular article because it was a news story. I tried to find the article, nowhere to be found. Okay, so that's neither here nor there. Not sure why that article is buried or hidden, but nonetheless, the Mars program has definitely revved up for sure. So let's first go into what is the SpaceX Mars program. All right, so I'm going to use Wikipedia as a source, but SpaceX, they do have their own website that you can go to. It talks about their launches, their schedule for the launches, etc. And as a matter of fact, according to their website, they just had a launch last Wednesday. But they're saying that they just launched 60 Starlink satellites. Okay, so if you want to keep very, very close track on what's going on with SpaceX, they do have their own website, and a website totally dedicated to their launches. All right, so let's see. Other than that, I think Wikipedia has a lot more meat to what the intent of SpaceX is, the history, etc. I didn't get that on their website. So here you go. SpaceX Mars program. A SpaceX Mars program is a development program initiated by Elon Musk and SpaceX in order to facilitate and eventually colonization of Mars. The program includes fully reusable launch vehicles, human-rated spacecraft on orbit propellant tankers, rapid turnaround launch landing mounts, and local production of rocket fuel on Mars via SUDI resource utilization. SpaceX aspirational goal has been to land the first human on Mars by 2024. Y'all hear that? Excuse me. 2024? So we're talking in 3 years? So to me, that means they've already done it. I'm just saying. And we'll get into a little bit of where I truly believe Mars is, which that's going to be my little humble opinion. But let's read on. So they want to do the first human launch by 2024, but in October 2020, Elon Musk named 2024 as a goal for an uncrewed mission. At the Axel Springer Award 2020, Elon Musk said that he is highly confident that the first crew flight to Mars will happen in 2026. Okay, so whether it's 2024, 2026, what's the difference? Okay, 2 years, whatever. So if they're giving us 2024, that means they already done it. If they push it out to 2026, that means that they're still working out and perfecting the kinks. All right? Because I'm a believer that they do these things ahead of what they tell the public. All right. A key element of the program is planned to be the SpaceX Starship, a fully reusable super heavy lift launch vehicle under development since 2018. To achieve a large payload, the spacecraft would first enter Earth's orbit, where it is expected to be refueled before it departs to Mars. After landing on Mars, the spacecraft will be loaded with locally produced propellants to return to Earth. The expected payload for the Starship launch vehicle is to inject between 100 to 150 tons to Mars. SpaceX intends to concentrate its resources on the transportation part of Mars colonization project, including the design of a propellant plant based on the saboteur process that will be deployed on Mars to synthesize methane and liquid oxygen as rocket propellants from local supply of atmosphere, carbon dioxide, and ground accessible water ice. However, Musk has advocated since 2016 a larger set of long-term Mars settlement objectives going far beyond what SpaceX project to build. Any successful colonization would ultimately involve many more economic actors. Okay, and so I'm just hovering over what they're categorizing as economic actors. What's the definition, rather? And it says, is the social science that studies how people interact with value, in particular the production, distribution, and consumption of goods and services. All right, so they really just gave me the definition of an economy, so I don't know why they had to name this economic actors. Anyhow, would ultimately involve many more economic actors, whether individuals, companies, or governments, to facilitate the growth of human presence on Mars for many decades. So in other words, he wants more players to be involved in the process. So I'm assuming individuals could mean private investors or the private citizens who are willing to go to Mars to be those first, they call them explorers, and I'm using that in quotations, or settlers, I'm using that in quotations, where we know it's colonization, right? Or colonious. All right. Okay. All right. So just a little bit of history. In 2001, Musk conceptualized Mars Oasis, a project to land a miniature experimental greenhouse containing seeds with dehydrated gel on Mars to grow plants on Martian soil. So this will be the furthest that life's ever traveled. Now, just a pause for those of you that know, I am a novice gardener. So I literally last year upgraded my in-grow garden light, because I start seeds indoors to get prepared for spring, because it's much cheaper and I know actually what I'm getting, and I get variety that I can't get in the grocery store, okay? Because I'm a firm believer and having those basic skills in order to survive, and gardening is certainly one of them. So I upgraded my gardening lights, and guess what the name that I upgraded to, what that light is. The name of the light is Mars, y'all. And I'm finna to tell you, that baby, whew, it is the best grow light that I have had to date. Everything that I've put under it, it germinates, and it is doing wonderfully well. So I just really chuckled when I saw that the name of that indoor grow light for sale named Mars, and I was looking at the reviews and everybody raved on it. So, all right, I'll get back on task. In an attempt to regain public interest in space exploration and increase the budget of NASA, but Musk realized that even with a much larger space budget, travel to Mars would be prohibitively expensive without a fundamental breakthrough in rocket technology. In October 2001, Musk traveled to Moscow with Jim Cantrell, an aerospace supply fixer, and Adrio Resi, his best friend from college, to buy refurbished ICBMs that could send the envisioned payloads into space. As early as 2007, Elon Musk stated a personal goal of eventually enabling human exploration and settlement of Mars. Although his personal public interest in Mars goes back to at least 2001, bits of additional information about the mission architecture were released in 2011-2015, including a 2014 statement that initial colonists would arrive at Mars no earlier than the middle of the 2020s. Now, y'all, I did not know that back in 2014, they was saying that in the mid 2024, well, in the mid 2020s, which that would be 2005, I guess. 2025, that they were going to go to Mars. So, like I said, they already have done it. They do these things in advance. So I would even go as far as to say they've probably been there as early as 2007 when they first started releasing it to the public. So meaning they were already there. They were already setting up shop, and they were just testing the scenes. And again, we're going to go over where I personally feel Mars is located, because I don't think it's where they are telling us. All right. So company plans in mid 2016 continue to call for the arrival of the first humans on Mars no earlier than 2025. Musk stated in a 2011 interview that he hopes to send humans to Mars surface within 10 to 20 years. And in late 2012, he stated that he envisioned a Mars colony of tens of thousands, with the first colonists arriving no earlier than the middle of 2020. So that's that 2012 date. That sparked me to we know that the 2012 celestial event, according to the Mayan calendar, they talked about the world ending. And what they were really meaning was just that particular calendar schedule, because we were leaving out of the Pisces age and going into the Aquarian age. All right. Because contrary to popular belief, the calendar that we are currently following, the Gregorian calendar, that is not the accurate calendar. That calendar is not accurate to the universal calendar, or the precession of the equinox calendar. All right. And that calendar, if we're following with the Mayans, is 2012 was the start of leaving out of that Pisces age, going into an Aquarian age, all right? And in that Aquarian age, a whole set. To listen to this episode in its entirety, go to anchor.fm/WTUZ Radio. Again, that's anchor.fm/WTUZ Radio. And the link is in the description. Thank you, and peace and love.